Wonderful Wizard of Oz, a story etched into our collective memory. But what if I told you that behind those ruby slippers and the yellow brick road lies a truth so dark it was deliberately hidden from you? This isn't just about a girl and her dog anymore. This is about a man forced to mutilate himself little by little, piece by piece, a powerful wizard manipulating masses through fear and deception, and a hidden message that's more relevant today than ever before. Dorothy wasn't just a character in a fairy tale. She was real, and she wasn't alone. What you're about to discover will change everything you thought you knew about the land beyond the rainbow, because sometimes the darkest truths hide behind the brightest stories. Welcome to the real world of Oz, a world where nothing is what it seems and everything has a price. Before creating one of the most influential stories ever told, L. Frank Baum was a man of many failed dreams, a failed general store owner, a struggling newspaper publisher, even, if you can believe it, an unsuccessful traveling salesman. But it's true, sometimes the greatest stories come from those who know what it means to fail. By 1899, after watching business after business crumble, Baum made a decision that would change literature forever. Instead of chasing another doomed idea, he reached deep into his imagination and pulled out a gold nugget from the deep. But here's where it gets dark. In the 1890s, scarecrows weren't just farm decorations. They were weapons of ridicule. Political cartoonists used them to mock farmers, portraying them as brainless, helpless puppets, dancing to the tune of the banking elite. These weren't just drawings, they were propaganda. Picture this: farmers drowning in debt, watching their crops fail, while banks foreclosed on their dreams. The government, they turned their backs. The wealthy elite painted them as stupid, incapable of understanding the complex financial system they created. Sound familiar? I have a feeling it does. This is why the Scarecrow's story hit so hard. He's convinced he's brainless, worthless, incapable of independent thought. But who told him that? Who benefits from making him believe he's not smart enough to make his own decisions? This isn't just about a fictional character. It's about power, control, and the art of making people doubt themselves. The 1890s, America's Industrial Revolution was roaring, but behind those shiny machines and smoking chimneys lay a truth hiding inside that grey, dirty coal dust. For the common worker, this wasn't an age of progress, it was an age of survival. Endless shifts, brutal conditions, and the constant grinding of flesh and bone against metal and time. These weren't people anymore. They were cogs in a machine, replaceable parts in a system that valued production over humanity. But there's another layer to this story, one that goes beyond the factory floors. The Tin Man wasn't born of metal. He was once flesh and blood, a simple woodcutter named Nick Chopper. And his transformation, it's perhaps the most haunting metaphor in all of children's literature. This tale intertwines with one of the most heated debates of the 1890s, the battle between gold and silver currency. While gold represented the wealthy elite's interests, silver was the common man's hope. Our Tin Man, was he caught in the crossfire of this economic war? But here's where it gets truly chilling. Nick Chopper fell in love with a munchkin girl, a simple act that caught the attention of someone powerful, the Wicked Witch of the East. You see, the witch didn't just want to stop a romance. She wanted to break a man's spirit piece by piece. Through a cold, cursed axe, Nick began losing himself, literally. First an arm, then a leg, piece by piece, until nothing human remained. But the most terrifying part, he didn't even feel it happening. Each loss numbed him further, until the man who once loved so deeply couldn't feel anything at all. A local tinsmith repaired him, replacing his body with tin. But something was missing. His heart was gone. The witch wanted him hollow, empty, heartless. The Tin Man's journey isn't just about finding a heart. It's about reclaiming something he never knew he'd lost. He doesn't even remember it happening. Imagine that, turning from a person into a hollow machine, bit by bit, without ever realizing it. The lion, nature's ultimate symbol of power and courage. But in Oz, we meet something far more intriguing. A lion paralyzed by fear. This isn't just a storytelling twist. It's a deliberate parallel to one of the most controversial figures of the 1890s. Enter William Jennings Bryan, a presidential candidate whose thunderous voice shook America's political landscape. Like our cowardly lion, Brian was known for his mighty roar against corruption and banking elites. His critics called him all bark, no bite, a perfect mirror of our trembling king of beasts. But here's where it gets sinister. Lions are supposed to be the ultimate apex predators, feared, respected, absolutely dominant. So why create a lion that cowers in its own shadow? Because sometimes the most powerful truth about power is that it's built on fear. Think about it. Those who roar the loudest about their strength are often the ones trembling behind closed doors. The cowardly lion isn't just about one politician. It's about the nature of power itself. Those who appear strongest on the outside, your politicians, your CEOs, your elites, they're often the ones most terrified of losing control. When you think of the Wicked Witch of the West, you probably picture green skin, a pointy hat, and that infamous cackle. But here's something that might make you think again. None of that existed in the original story. In Baum's original tale, she wasn't green at all. She was a powerful sorceress with one terrifying eye, commanding flying creatures with a magical golden cap, ruling the Winkies through pure fear. But why the West? This wasn't just random geography. Some believe the Wicked Witch of the West represents something far more revealing. The American Wild West itself, a lawless, dangerous frontier where survival meant controlling whatever you could by any means necessary. In this unforgiving world of Oz, survival isn't about kindness, it's about fear. When Dorothy crashes into this realm, she's not just a lost girl, she's an unwitting invader. Her house doesn't just land, it crushes the witch's sister. And those magical shoes she claims, they're not just footwear, they're instruments of power. From the witch's perspective, Dorothy isn't an innocent visitor. She's a threat to everything she's built. And make no mistake, the Wicked Witch of the West isn't simply misunderstood. Strip away the modern retellings, the sympathetic backstories, and you'll discover what she truly is, a tyrant through and through. She hoards power like a dragon hoards gold, demanding absolute control over every creature, every corner of her domain. But even that wasn't enough. Having exhausted her control over the flying monkeys through her golden cap, she desperately seeks new sources of power. Those silver shoes represent her last chance at absolute domination. This isn't a tale of misunderstanding or circumstance. The witch chose wickedness. She embraced tyranny, and in doing so, she became exactly what she wanted to be, a figure of pure, unrelenting power. If you're enjoying this deep dive into the dark truth behind Oz, take a moment to hit that like button. It really helps our community grow. Now, let's talk about the man behind the curtain. The wizard isn't just a fairy tale trope. He's a mirror reflecting something far more insidious, the very nature of political power itself. Think about it, a figure who rules through spectacle and illusion, using smoke and mirrors to appear more powerful than he really is. Strip away the emerald facade, pull back that velvet curtain, and what do you find? Nothing but an ordinary man, desperately pulling levers and pushing buttons to maintain his illusion of control. Sound like something you already see every day? It should, because political figures have always used spectacle to appear more powerful than they are. You're not seeing them. You're seeing the carefully crafted image they want you to see. And nobody understood this better than L. Frank Baum himself, a man who mastered the art of illusion long before he created Oz. Before becoming an author, Baum was a department store window designer, an architect of desire who knew exactly how to make ordinary objects appear extraordinary. His job, creating displays that would seduce customers into buying things they didn't need. Shiny, glamorous, expensive-looking facades hiding ordinary merchandise. This understanding of spectacle and illusion found its way into the very heart of Oz. The wizard isn't just some random con man. He's a mirror reflecting how most power operates, through smoke and mirrors, bright lights and amplified voices. He controls an entire kingdom with nothing but stage effects and showmanship. And this isn't just history, it's happening right now. Political figures still command stages with empty promises. Brands still use slick marketing to make products seem more valuable than they are. Different century, same old trick. Power isn't about control, it's about perception. And the Wizard of Oz exposed this truth long before our modern age of viral scandals and leaked emails. When Dorothy pulls back that curtain, something profound happens. The wizard doesn't lose his power. he loses the illusion of power. It's not his magic that shatters, it's his carefully constructed image. We see the same pattern today. Scandals, leaked footage, whistleblowers, all revealing the same truth. It all comes down to that pivotal moment, pulling back the curtain to reveal the reality. Suddenly, those towering figures of authority don't seem so towering anymore. They never were. The wizard isn't a man of power, he's a master of manipulation, a symbol of how the elite few maintain control through carefully crafted illusions. When Dorothy's group reaches the Emerald City, they're handed green-tinted glasses. The gatekeeper claims it's for protection from the city's brilliance. But here's the murky truth. The city isn't actually green at all. It's just an ordinary city, transformed by forced perspective. Everyone wears these glasses, so everything appears emerald-hued and wealthy. But there's not a single real emerald in sight. The masses believe in its wealth simply because they've been conditioned to see it that way. So where did Baum find inspiration for this grand illusion? Two theories emerge. The first points to Chicago's 1893 World's Fair, where Baum witnessed the legendary White City, a collection of massive, sparkling buildings that appeared to be carved from pure marble. The second theory takes us to Washington, D.C., where many believe the Emerald City finds its true inspiration. It's more than just architecture. It's about power and perception. This gleaming capital city represents a place where the elite control how the masses see their world. The color green isn't random. It's the color of money, wealth, and greed. Just like Follow the Money, the Emerald City shows us where power and greed intersect. And here's the brilliant twist. It's all an illusion. Those glasses only work if you never dare to take them off. This is the deeper message of The Wizard of Oz. The systems of power we believe in are often just carefully constructed illusions, maintained by those who benefit from our collective belief. When Baum wrote about that field of beautiful red poppies, he wasn't just creating a pretty scene. He was painting a powerful metaphor for something far more sinister, the comfort of distraction that keeps us from our true path. Like those deceptively beautiful flowers, comfort can be a trap. It's warm, it's cozy, and it feels safe. But that's exactly what makes it dangerous. If you stay too long in that comfortable place, you might never want to leave. The message is clear. Chasing your dreams means staying awake, staying focused, and most importantly, not letting comfort become your cage. The yellow brick road, perhaps the most iconic path in American literature. But have you ever wondered why it's yellow? Some historians believe it's a clever reference to the gold standard debate of the 1890s, when gold was considered the only legitimate backing for US currency, while others pushed for silver. And there's Dorothy, wearing silver shoes on a road of gold, a powerful symbol of this economic conflict. From her first step, she's following someone else's prescribed path, never questioning where it leads, but what's at the end. Not wealth or power, just a man behind a curtain, pulling levers. The yellow brick road isn't meant to help Dorothy, it's meant to control her movement. She never questions it, she just follows blindly. Does this ring a bell? It's how society has conditioned us for centuries. Follow the path, stay in line, work hard. But what happens when you reach the end and find nothing there? That's the point. It's about keeping the masses on one clear path, never daring to step off. In Baum's original story, the munchkins aren't the colorful characters Hollywood created. They're simply townsfolk who happen to be shorter than average. Farmers and workers wearing everyday clothes. No lollipop guild, no candy cane outfits, just ordinary people who've lived under extraordinary oppression. Their initial hesitation to celebrate makes perfect sense. They've spent years under the Witch of the East's reign of terror, where one wrong move meant severe punishment. That kind of fear doesn't vanish overnight. But as reality sets in, that their oppressor is truly gone, their caution gives way to celebration. It's like watching citizens overthrowing a tyrant. Yet even in freedom, they remain tied by invisible chains. They don't venture beyond their borders or follow Dorothy's path. They stay put, trapped in familiar patterns, proving that physical freedom doesn't automatically break mental chains. Glinda, the Good Witch of the South, not the North as portrayed in the movie, plays a very different role in Baum's original tale. Unlike the 1939 film version, she doesn't watch over Dorothy from the beginning. Dorothy doesn't meet Glinda until after defeating the Wicked Witch of the West. At the very end of her journey, from her home in the south, Glinda serves as a wise mentor, sharing crucial knowledge only when Dorothy specifically asks for guidance. She reveals that Dorothy's silver shoes, worn since her arrival in Oz, held the power to take her home all along. Glinda represents true leadership and wisdom, understanding that sometimes the journey itself matters more than the destination. Dorothy Louise Gage, L. Frank Baum's beloved niece, came into this world in 1898, but her time here was tragically brief. Just 5 months later, she succumbed to a severe illness. Her passing devastated Frank's family, so when he began crafting his most ambitious story, he chose to immortalize her memory by naming his central character after this precious lost child, Dorothy. This touching tribute adds profound depth to Dorothy's journey home. She's not just a character on an adventure, she represents lost innocence and the eternal hope that no matter how far we stray, we can always find our way back home. Dorothy's character wasn't just inspired by Baum's lost niece. His mother-in-law, Matilda Jocelyn Gage, a fierce feminist icon and women's rights activist, profoundly shaped Dorothy's personality. Under Matilda's influence, Dorothy evolved from a potential damsel in distress into a determined leader. Unlike her companions, she never doubts her own courage, heart, or intelligence. She faces challenges head-on, never losing sight of her goal, finding her way home. This is classic hero's journey storytelling. Dorothy must earn her victories through determination and strength. The power she seeks was within her all along. She never needed a wizard, witch, or magic shoes. She had everything she needed from the start. When Dorothy clicks her heels and says, "There's no place like home," she's doing more than just returning to Kansas. She's embracing a real truth. Home isn't just a physical place, it's a state of mind. It's about realizing we often have the power to change our lives without waiting for someone else's permission. Dorothy had to discover her own strength. While we all wish for someone to hand us the answers, sometimes we must walk that challenging path ourselves. That's Dorothy's true legacy. She isn't seeking power or glory, she simply wants to find her way home. But when she arrives, she's transformed by her journey. This is why Dorothy endures. She's not a damsel or a sidekick. She's the hero of her own story. And perhaps she's a little bit of all of us too. Thank you for joining me on this journey through the hidden meanings of Oz. Don't forget to leave a like. It helps our community grow more than you know. And if you want to keep hearing more buried tales, hit that subscribe button to be part of our next journey into hidden history. Tell me below, which Oz character do you relate to most? And would you choose courage, heart, or wisdom? Until next time, eyes open and stay curious.